My name is Tommy Baird, and this is my persuasive speech. So every kid growing up has a dream. You know, there are kids that want to be police officers, there are kids that want to be firemen, and there are kids that want to be businessmen one day. And as businessmen, they want to wear nice suits, they want to learn how companies work, and they want to learn how to make money. And when it comes to educating students and preparing them for the business world, Wake Forest is as good as any. According to Bloomberg Businessweek in 2014's rankings, Wake Forest ranks number 11 compared to all other undergraduate programs in the country, and number 1 in academic quality. Wake is good at what it does. And as a student that's been recently admitted into the business school, I'll be the first one to tell you that although the application process is thorough and competitive, it's flawed. So in order to explain that, let's start with the current situation. So once you're admitted into Wake Forest University, there's a 2-year probation period where you must go through prerequisites and your cumulative GPA is measured compared to your peers. Those prerequisites would be Economics 150, which is Intro to Econ, Math 111, Calculus 1, Accounting 111, which is Intro to Financial Accounting, as well as a 2.7 GPA and 49 credit hours. All 5 of these requirements must be met before a student can apply to the business school. But honestly, it leaves students confused because although it says a 2.7 GPA, the admissions process is a little bit of a mystery because I can't explain to you why a student has a 3.4 gets in over students of 3.6 because once it gets behind closed doors of the admissions committee, it really is up in the air as how they weigh certain students and how they evaluate students. And my real argument for this is that Wake's going against its philosophy. If you look at their admissions page, you'll see that their philosophy is about educating the whole person, which this isn't wrong. I've grown a lot as a student and a lot as a person at Wake Forest. But while educating the whole person, they're not evaluating the whole person. It's unfair to evaluate an accounting student the same way you evaluate a marketing student because they're much different fields, their brains work differently, and it takes much different skills to succeed in those career paths. So my proposal would be to change the prerequisites in order to create tracks for different majors. So you're comparing marketing students to marketing students, accounting students to accounting students, while also creating a baseline GPA so students know exactly what grades they need to get in each of their classes in order to be successful and to pursue the major that they want. So, your basic prerequisites. Math and economics. I took away accounting because, again, I think accounting is unfair to compare all students with. But the calculus and economics are very important and prerequisites for any of the business school classes that you take and very important in the business world as a whole. As far as the tracks go, you have finance and accounting. These are 2 of the more competitive tracks, and in order to succeed in either of them, you need to be able to pass the intro class. So for finance, you add the intro to finance class, principles of finance. For accounting, add introduction to financial accounting. Adding this 3rd class allows for students to be evaluated with their peers and be evaluated fairly. However, for the BEM track, for those of you who don't know, BEM stands for Business Enterprise Management, which is a general business degree that the school offers. Inside of the BEM major, there's multiple concentrations. 3 of the major ones are marketing, consulting, and business law. And just like finance and accounting, you just add an extra class to it. So that would be principles of marketing for marketing, products and operations management for consulting, and legal environment of business for business law. Again, these students are being evaluated in the track they want to go into, and although they have to take the accounting and the finance at some point because those are requirements of the major, it's important that in order to get into the school, they're being evaluated on the major they're trying to pursue. Now, once they do all these things and they fulfill their prerequisites, they need to have a 3.0 to get in. That means they have a B average, and that means that they're ready to go and ready to pursue this major. However, their cumulative GPA needs to be above a 3.3. And the reason I put a 3.3 is because that's a B plus average, which means you're still encouraging the liberal arts education, you're still encouraging students to take great pride in the classes outside the business school just as much as they do inside the business school. Every student should take as much pride in their history of Western art class as they do in their intro to finance class. Wake educates a whole person, and I don't want that to be lost in this policy. Some problems that can come from this. As you lower the GPA, it means you're increasing the number of students that are admitted every year. And by doing that, it means you need more class space and you need to accommodate more students. So my solution for that would be to start having classes on Fridays. Wake's Business School does not offer classes on Fridays, and as you can see from my schedule for next year, if you add that extra day, it'll create more flexibility in the class times that are offered and the number of sections that can be offered. But again, once you add more classes, you need more professors. And the argument you're going to make for that is probably that when you add more professors, you're lowering the quality of professors. As quantity increases, quality decreases. But I would argue that it would create a higher diversity of the classes that are offered and allow for the better professors to have higher flexibility in teaching the classes that they take more pride in. And will create more diversity in how Wake's influence in the business world is created throughout the country and throughout the world potentially. So the major counter argument that I found for this was that if you change the application process and you lower the admission standards, you're not going to be as well respected in the business world. So I took 4 case studies and compared it to 4 of its peers as far as academic quality goes. And the first 2 would be University of Virginia and University of North Carolina. And if you look on the McIntyre School of Commerce and the Keenan Flagler Business School, you'll see that they have very similar application processes. There's prerequisites, and there's a subjective application model where depending on who's applying that year, depends on how high the GPA is to get in. These are great schools and are very successful, but it's unfair to Wake to compare themselves to those because we're small private schools compared to those large state schools. If you compare it to Notre Dame and Boston College and look on Mendoza College of Business website and Carroll School of Management's website, you realize that there's no admissions process to get into these schools. So does that affect them compared to the bigger state schools that have these admissions process? Does that make them lesser schools? Does that make the world look at them lesser? Actually, no. If you see, Virginia and North Carolina are very highly ranked schools, but Notre Dame and Boston College are ranked higher. So changing the admissions process has nothing to do with how Wake is viewed as a business school, and so I don't think that's a very fair counter argument to make. Every kid grows up having a dream. He wants to be successful in something, but most importantly, he just wants to be successful. According to Bobby Unser, success is where preparation and opportunity meet. Wake has never failed to prepare students for the real world, but they need to start giving them the opportunity to succeed in the path they want to. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.